Good morning, friends. Welcome to Thursday. I am very tired. I did not sleep very well last night. That was entirely my fault, though. I ate way too much food and went to bed right after, and I'm still feeling it, so to say. So that's great. But it's totally okay. I'm chilling. I mean, like, I'm gonna survive, so it's not like I'm tired. It's mostly just my eyes, really. But I am about to go make coffee, so we'll go ahead and then share our first sip of the day together once I have that made. All right, coffee has been made, so let us go ahead and share the first sip of the day. Not a bad cup. Not as flavorful as they've been lately, but it still tastes just fine. I'm excited for today. Regardless of how tired I am, I know today's D&D session will be fun, and I am very much looking forward to that. I have a fair bit planned, which is not the norm for me when I play D&D, at least as a DM. I don't usually plan very far in advance, but this time around, since we're kind of getting a fresh start, I guess I'm learning from our last campaign and doing things a little differently. I've made sure I got everyone's backstories ahead of time, and I've taken notes and stuff to make sure everyone's backstories are properly integrated into the actual plot of the campaign instead of like their backstories coming up later as like a side thing or something like that, because I want their stories to be the focus of this overall story, essentially. And I think that's something I learned doing a deep outline for the Sciata's War. Once I wrote down the protagonist's like motivations, his like flaws and stuff like that, I realized so much of the book can revolve around that. And I feel like those are the best kinds of stories, when the plot isn't just something that happens to the characters, but instead almost feels like it was designed for these specific characters to go through. And I feel like those are the most natural sounding stories. They're the most intriguing ones, more often than not, because the world kind of reflects the mentality of the protagonist, while also showing them a side of them they might not want to see. It's very fascinating. I love storytelling so much. I'm excited to get back into D&D, and I mean, like, I say get back into it. We just played last week, but it feels like it was forever ago. Anyway, I drew a map. It's not finished, but I drew the map of the continent they will be starting in, assuming that they travel beyond it. I don't know if they will. The continent's pretty big. But yeah, I drew that. It's been a while since I just freehand drew a map like that, because yeah, I just don't really do that very often these days. It is something I did a lot as a kid, though, and I think that's why it kind of came back to me so naturally. Like, I grew up with Lord of the Rings and stuff. I was fascinated with fantasy books that had, like, a map on the inside, and I loved that. And so when I started writing fantasy books myself, I would do the same. And that's why, for the Sciata's War, I know the world like the back of my hand, because I've been drawing it since I was like 6. Anyway, I'm probably going to play more Cold Steel pretty soon here. I also have some water to help with my stomach a little bit, so I've just been sipping that. I'll probably drink a little more water than usual today, but just taking it slow so it doesn't mess with my stomach. And I will probably check in with you guys later this evening. Well, the day has come and gone, and it was a very good day too. We had our first D&D session of this new campaign, and it went very well, I personally think. We laughed a lot. I actually laughed so hard I gave myself a headache for a little bit, and that was very funny. But it goes to show how much fun we had just playing it today. We had a new player in the group, and the new player had a phenomenal dynamic with the rest of the group, so that made me very happy. And it went on a little longer than expected because I was waiting for the players to do a thing. It took them a while to do it, but not that I can blame them, because the thing they had to do to make progress required a little risk. So I didn't blame them at all for being a little reluctant to do so. Aside from that, though, I didn't really do much today. I played Trails of Cold Steel earlier, It was fun. I am probably gonna take like a little break tomorrow. Maybe I'll probably play like another hour or two. But I've been playing for multiple hours at a time the last few days. Like I said, I went through the first two chapters in just the span of like 3 days, which is insane progress when you consider that I'm also taking the time to talk to every single NPC as their dialogue refreshes. So, yeah, I somehow spent almost 20 hours playing in the span of 3 days. So, I'll take it a little easy tomorrow. Maybe focus a little more time on writing rather than playing. Maybe meditate too. I've been kind of chilling tonight and sort of meditating, waiting for my food to settle before going to bed, because I learned from my mistake last night, and I will not go to bed immediately after eating tonight. So I'll probably stay out here for a little longer and meditate before going to bed. But today was a very good day. I'm feeling very nice, I suppose, especially after the mental health work I've been doing. I've been keeping it consistent because, like I said in the vlog where I discussed it, whenever I'd have this new tool, I suppose, to help me deal with my mental health problems, I'd use it for a few days and then eventually it'd kind of peter off and then the problems would begin anew. Well, I've been relatively consistent using it, and I mean, just watching the last few weeks of vlogs, or I guess a couple weeks, we're not quite at 3 weeks yet, this is probably the most consistent I've stayed playing a video game, because I feel like every single vlog up until this point, I've been playing a different game. Like, I started playing Dragon Quest II, I played Xenoblade 2, I was playing Ys 10 for a while, and it's like, I alternated and through all these games, and then for the last 3 days, I've just been playing Trails of Cold Steel, and it could just go to show that I really enjoy the game, especially now that I'm playing on easy mode, and I don't feel this pressure to, like, worry about hard boss fights or anything, and I can just play at my own leisure. But I think it's also the fact that my mental health has been pretty good the past few days. So I'd definitely like to keep that cycle up. I'm going to keep journaling, I'm going to keep meditating, keep, thinking about the stuff in my brain, like the shadows and all that, and learning to appreciate myself, I guess, is the best way to put it. But I feel great. It doesn't feel like a manic state either, because I don't feel this impulse to do everything at once. I actually, for once, feel like a calm happiness, so it's not quite the manic states I'm used to. I just feel content sitting here doing nothing and enjoying my own company. And that's the goal of all of this. It's to be comfortable just sitting with myself in silence and enjoying it. And I feel like that would go a long way, because then I'm not using, scrolling on my phone or constantly watching YouTube as some sort of coping mechanism for boredom or depression or anything. I can just sit in a room silently with myself and not be bored. Or rather, when I am bored, I can deal with it and think about my book or something like that. I've been thinking a lot about the Sayada's War, and it's actually been very fulfilling thinking about it. I made a little progress today. I outlined 2 chapters. Not bad, but compared to, like, outlining 10 chapters like I did the other day, it's not a whole lot. But again, I don't want to be in the business of doing comparisons, so I'm okay with the progress I made today. I didn't need to make a whole lot of progress because I'd already exhausted all my creativity playing D&D earlier today, which, again, was very fun. I'm so glad we have a fresh start, because I'm taking a new approach to how I DM. I mean, it's more or less the same, but it's a bit more hands-off and giving the players more control, I suppose. So that helps a lot. It helps a lot that I don't have any NPCs traveling with them this time around, so I don't have any NPCs particularly to guide them. One of the party members, it's actually the character Kayla created, can speak with animals though, and that had made for some very fun interactions, and they had like a wolf guide them through the mountains, and that was fun too. This is going to be a fun D&D campaign, I can already tell. And I'm also excited to write more, because, I still have my work writing to do. I haven't been doing as much of that lately, but I think that's because I've just been focusing on taking care of myself and not pushing myself to work unimaginably difficult or unimaginably hard on stuff, and just kind of letting myself relax a little more. And the Sayada's War, just makes me happy to think about because I'm bringing the story I wrote as a 6-year-old back to life in a much better way. It's going to be a very long book, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, I love writing long books. I only say unfortunately because I know a lot of people these days don't have the time or patience to read long books, but whatever. I'm going to write what I want to write. And also, I know Amazon has limits when it comes to self-publishing, like how long your book can be. So that could cause some complications as well. But if need be, I can always cut down on things. You know, that's what the revision process is for. I'm sure when all is said and done, there are some scenes I could probably cut entirely. We'll have to see. But I've rambled on long enough. I'm just gonna sit here and chill, let my food settle more, and probably go to bed in like 15 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. You are all wonderful people, and as always, I will see you again tomorrow.